They were driven out by their karmic offenses. As soon as the Buddha announced his intention to speak the wonderful Dharma, their karmic obstacles showed up and they could not sit still. They left on their own. It was not a matter of being afraid or not being afraid to listen, or liking or not liking to listen. It was a question of their karmic offenses being too heavy. They may have wished to listen to the Buddha Dharma, but their karmic obstacles revealed themselves and they had to run away. They became possessed by demons. The demon power overtook them. If the ones with offenses had not gone, they would have influenced the ones without offenses so that they would not have wanted to listen either. Perhaps right when the Buddha was lecturing, they might have jumped up or yelled wildly or gone insane. It was really better that they left. That was the question invoked. So do not ask questions about things that poses no questions. So the Buddha is fearless. My body adorned with marks. Shakyamuni Buddha says, adorned with the marks of 100 blessings. I brilliantly illumine the world. My light shines throughout the world. Revered by countless multitudes, I speak the seal of the real mark. I speak the real mark Dharma door, the Dharma of real wisdom, the wonderful Dharma Lotus Flower Sutra. If you understand the wonderful Dharma Lotus Flower Sutra, you will understand the seal of the real mark. If you do not understand it, you cannot get sealed. Shariputra, you should know that in the past I took a vow wishing to lead the multitudes to be identical with me. I made a vow to cause all living beings to be just like me, non-dual and non-different from me, and from all the Buddhas of the 10 directions. So whoever is more talented than I, whoever is more intelligent, whatever happens, I'm never jealous of them. If someone can do a good job of lecturing on the sutras, you should not be jealous. You should rejoice and praise them, saying, they lecture so well, I just love to listen to them. No matter whether they lecture well or poorly, do not become annoyed with them and get upset. If you get upset with them, the Dharma will not get through to you even if they lecture well. If you do not get upset, no matter who speaks the Dharma, you will recognize their good qualities. If you listen carefully, you will understand and the doctrines and gain the benefits of listening to the Dharma. That vow made long ago, now has been perfectly fulfilled. I have now accomplished Buddhahood. I have fulfilled my vow. I have saved those living beings I wanted to save. Some have certified to the fruit, and others have brought forth the Bodhisattva resolve. For I have transformed all beings, leading them into the Buddha path. I have now led all beings to enter into the path to Buddhahood. Sutra. If when I met with living beings, I taught them just the Buddha path, those lacking wisdom would be puzzled, confused, they would not accept the teaching. Commentary. If when I met with living beings, previously said leading them into the Buddha path, the Buddha has led living beings to opening, demonstration, awakening to an enter of the Buddha's knowledge and vision. These lines the Buddha is talking about himself. He has rightly certified to the 8 great freedoms of the self. 1. One body can manifest limitless bodies. That is, one Buddha can turn into countless numbers of Buddhas. 2. One body the size of a mote of dust can completely fill the great 1,000 world systems. Why? It is because it is free. 3. The Buddha body can lightly float to distant places. For example, it can lightly float just like a balloon right up into space. The balloon can fly a long ways to distant places. The balloon, however, is just an analogy. Actually, this is just the free and wonderful functioning of the Buddha's spiritual penetrations, which enable him to rise lightly in the air and travel to very distant regions. For he can manifest limitless kinds of living beings, which always dwell together in one land. 5. All the sense faculties may be used interchangeably. I explained this when I lectured the Suragama Sutra. The eyes can eat and the ears can talk. The six sense organs, eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind, all function with the functions of the other 5. Each organ can be used in 6 ways. The eyes can see and hear. They can also eat and taste. They all can be used interchangeably. Would you say this was wonderful or not? 6. He obtains the suchness of all dharmas without the thought of dharmas. Dharmas are empty. 7. The meaning of one verse may be explained throughout limitless ends. The doctrines contained in a single verse may be explained for limitless boundless great ends, and still the meaning will not have been spoken to the end. 8. The body pervades all places like space. Although it fills all places, it is just like empty space. When I explained the Suragama Sutra, I said that the Buddha was nowhere present and nowhere not present. Where would you say he is? He is everywhere. Where would you say he is not? He is nowhere at all. We say that the Buddha is like empty space. What does this mean? Take a look at empty space. It has no shape or form. The Buddha's body fills all places in the same way. We are all living in the substance of the Buddha's spirit. The Buddha is like a big person who fills up the space between heaven and earth. We live on the Buddha's body the way small bugs live on ours. Sometimes when we do bath for long periods of time, when we do not bath for long periods of time, we might get lice. In northern China, they have tiny lice and fleas. But the lice and fleas do not know what the people they live on are like. They cannot see the people even though they are living right on their bodies. Even though they are living right on their bodies. We dwell in the Buddha's Dharma body in the same way. We cannot see it. Why not? It is because we are right within it. In China, there is a saying, "Why cannot you see the face of Blue Mountain?" It is just because you are standing on Blue Mountain. Blue Mountain in Jiangxi is one of China's most famous scenic spots. It has a lovely view, verdant forests, and breathtaking waters. Why can't you see Blue Mountain? It is because you are standing right on it. If you backed away from it, you would be able to see it. And why can't we see the Buddha's Dharma body? It is because we are contained within it. Basically, there is not any place that is outside the Buddha's Dharma body. That is why there is no way we can get outside of it. Then, how can we see the Buddha's Dharma body? We must apply effort in cultivating the way. When we accomplish Buddhahood and are one non-dual with the Buddha, we will know what the realm of the Buddha's Dharma body is like. The Buddha has attained the 8 great freedoms of the self. He teaches and transforms living beings according to his intent, and however he speaks the Dharma, he is correct. I taught them just the Buddha path, so the Buddha uses the miraculous functioning of spiritual penetrations, the 8 great freedoms of the self. Those lacking wisdom would be puzzled. Although the Buddha is compassionate in teaching and transforming living beings, those without wisdom, the stupid pupil, cannot understand him. If he taught them the one vehicle, they will surely misunderstand him. Stupid pupil, no matter what you tell them, always waver between doubt and belief. Why do they waver? Confused, they would not accept the teaching. They are too deeply submerged in their confusion. When you speak the Buddha Dharma to them, they are not able to accept it. Everyone can know the events of his or her past lives. You can know what you did in the past. How can you know? Take stock of yourself. Take a look at yourself the way you are now. If you have a great deal of compassion, then in former lives you did not kill many living beings. You did not violate the precept against taking life. Having a compassionate heart just means that you do not have a temper. You look upon everyone as you would your own blood relatives. You cherish others as you cherish yourself. If you have that kind of compassion, it means that in former lives you did not kill. If you do not have compassionate concern for living beings, then in past lives you did kill. It is like taking a look at yourself in the mirror to see what you look like. If you have extremely hateful, then in past lives you killed living beings. Those who like to kill have big tempers and a great deal of fire energy. From these two indications, you can figure out your own set of causes and effects. You can know what you did in previous lives by looking at what you are doing right now. So, a few days ago, some soldiers came to visit and they asked, "Do you believe that people can become animals?" I said, "If you act like animal, you are an animal. If you act like a person, you are a person. You do not have to worry about what you will become in the future. If in this present life you do things that animals do, then you are an animal. If you do the deeds people do, then you are a person. If you do the deeds of a bodhisattva, you are a bodhisattva. If you observe the precepts of a bodhisattva and practice the bodhisattva way, then you are a bodhisattva. Although you're just a junior bodhisattva, one who has newly brought forth the bodhisattva resolve, if you do the acts of a Buddha, you are a Buddha. If you sneak around like a ghost, then you are a ghost. Just take a look at what you do. Everything is made from the mind alone. That is the principle at work here. How is it that you are able to come here and listen to the Buddha Dharma? It is because in former lives you believed in Buddhism, and so now you like to hear the sutras lectured. Those without good rules would hear the lectures and think, "What a lot of nonsense, how boring," and run off. So you see, everyone can have the penetration of the knowledge of past lives. Sutra. I know that these living beings have never cultivated good rules. They are firmly attached to the five desires, and out of stupidity and love become afflicted because of all their desires. They fall into the three evil paths. They turn on the wheel in the six destinies, suffering, utter misery. They take a tiny form in the womb. Life after life, it continues to grow with a scanty virtue and few blessings. They are oppressed by scores of sufferings. They enter the dense forest of deviant views, those of existence, non-existence, and the like. They become dependent on those views, 62 of them in all, deeply attached to illusory dharmas. They cling to them firmly and cannot let them go. Arrogant, they rattle of their loftiness. They are flatterers, their hearts insincere. Throughout 10 billion ants, they never hear the Buddha's name nor do they hear the proper Dharma. Such people are difficult to save. Commentary. I know that these living beings have never cultivated good rules. Who are these living beings? They are those lacking in wisdom, those confused beings who refuse to be taught by the Buddha. In former lives, they did not cultivate good rules, and so they are stupid. Those people who have cultivated good rules are intelligent, not stupid. Do I have good rules or not? You ask. Do not ask whether or not you have good rules. Ask whether or not you choose to cultivate in accord with the Dharma. If you rely upon the Buddha Dharma to cultivate, practice, and uphold it, and keep the precepts, then even if you do not have good rules, you would develop them. If you do not cultivate according to Dharma and having taken the precepts, fail to observe them, and you do no good deeds, then you would soon have no good rules at all. There is a saying about selfishness. If I could benefit all under heaven by pulling a single hair out of my head, I would not do it. Selfish people would not do a good deed the size of one single hair to benefit someone else. If they could benefit anyone in the whole world by pulling out just one hair from their heads, they would not do it. They think, well, if I pulled out one of my hairs, it would hurt a lot, and what difference does it make to me whether or not everyone under heaven gain benefits anyway? So what? What is in it for me? I'm not going to do it. If you are like that, if you do not cultivate in accord with the Dharma, then even if you had good rules, you soon would have none. If you cultivate in accord with the Dharma, then even if you do not have good rules, you will get them. Do not ask whether or not you have good rules. I will tell you something even more profound. If you do not have good rules, there is absolutely no way that you would be able to come and hear the Buddha Dharma. You should not have the necessary causes and conditions to study Buddhism. For example, we who are listening to the Buddha Dharma now, especially to the wonderful Dharma Lotus Flower Sutra in past lives, have all planted good rules, but you should not ask. I'm not going to answer your question either. Why not? If I said you had good rules, you would get arrogant and say, look at me, the Dharma Master says I have good rules, and no doubt my good rules are not small. You would get stuck up. On the other hand, if I said you had no good rules and that, in fact, in your last life you were a pig or something, this life you are a person, and that is why you are so stupid. You would think, oh, last life I was a pig, now I'm a person, but it does not mean much. I think I will do a few rotten things and go back to be a pig. Such people always feel like there's nothing going on. When they have eaten their fill, they go to sleep. So I cannot tell you whether or not you have good rules. Instead of asking me, ask yourself whether or not you cultivate in accord with the Dharma. If you can, then even if you do not have good rules, you are getting them. If you do not cultivate in accord with the Dharma, then even if you have good rules, you are losing them. The Buddha knew that these people had never in past lives planted good rules. They are firmly attached to the five desires. They are stuck. They cannot break through their desire for forms, sound, smells, taste, and tangible objects. There is another list of the five desires: wealth, form, fame, food, and sleep. It is said wealth, form, fame, food, and sleep are the five rules of the house. If you get attached to any one of the five desires, it can drag you right down into hell. So, we say that there are the five rules of the house. You could also call them five chains. They are like heavy chains that drag you into the hells. Some people are greedy for wealth. They crave material possessions to the point that they would do anything at all, regardless of whether it was right or not, to get what they want. Basically, one should not covet wealth which is not rightfully gained. But such people have no conscience in matters of material gain. Form refers to beauty, especially the attractions of the opposite sex. This is the easiest matter in which people transgress, no matter who they are. When men and women meet, their first thought is to determine whether the other person is beautiful or ugly. Such questions are always foremost in people's minds. If people are not greedy for wealth or forms, they may be greedy for fame and get locked in the chains of fame. They enjoy nothing but running around, promoting themselves in all kinds of ways, advertising themselves. A certain layman had a card printed saying that he was the president of such and such organization, head of such and such group, and so on. The entire card was covered with his titles. What for? When you take a look at his card and see all his fancy titles, you are supposed to be very impressed. That is the way fame is really important to people. There are others who do not care for wealth, form, or fame, but guess what? They love to eat. They do not eat their own food either, but specialize in cheating other people, cut people out of meals. When they hear there is a party, they cross the gate, sit down, and eat their fill, a fisher eye concealed among the pearls. Because of this, everyone looks down on them as gluttons, and they are objects to scorn wherever they go. Those who are not greedy for wealth, for fame, or food may be greedy for sleep. They can go without eating, but they would not hear of missing their sleep. They sleep and sleep until their brains get all stuck together and lose all their wisdom. They sleep themselves into stupidity. In Hong Kong and Taiwan, people sometimes sleep to death. Why? It is because they like to sleep. They sleep to death, feeling extremely happy. They are not aware of anything at all and die in their sleep painlessly. That is the fifth root of the house. Therefore, once you understand the Buddha Dharma, you should reform your bad habits. If you cannot reform all five of them immediately, you can do it slowly. And out of stupidity and love become afflicted. Because they cling to the five desires, they give rise to stupidity and grow attached to them. Because of their craving for the five desires, they think up all kinds of ways to obtain them. When their efforts are frustrated, they give rise to affliction. Why does affliction arise? It is because they have no wisdom. They do not see their state clearly. They do not understand one should reflect upon the principle, and returning the light awaken to the futility of one's actions. Not only do they fail to wake up, they get afflicted. Because of all their desires, they fall into the three evil paths: greed for food, greed for sleep, greed for fame, scheming for wealth, and lusting after forms. All these various evil modes of behavior generate afflictions. Because they are afflicted, they grow stupid. Because they are stupid, they fall into the three evil paths: the hells, the animal realm, the realm of hungry ghosts. They looked upon the five desires as too important. Unable to free themselves, they let the chains of the five desires drag them into the three evil paths. They turn on the wheel in the six destinies. Around and around they go on the wheel in the six paths of rebirth. Suddenly they are in the heavens. Suddenly they are on the earth. Suddenly they are cows, and suddenly they turn into horses. Suddenly they are hungry ghosts, and suddenly they become asuras. They revolve around and around in the six paths because they planted the causes to revolve on the wheel. Suffering utter misery. Having planted the causes, they must suffer the retribution of turning on the wheel, on the misery and wretchedness of the six paths of rebirth. They take a tiny form in the womb. They may be born from a womb. Perhaps they are born as a human being, or perhaps they are born as a cow, a horse, a pig, or a mouse. See, some people are afraid of mice. If you are afraid of mice, then do not do bad things. If you do bad things, you may just end up in the rat pile yourself as a friend of a mice. Look at mice, they are dirty, filthy. You would better be careful. Mice are also born from worms, you know. Life after life, it continues to grow. Taking a worm to be reborn, in every life they take one kind of worm, and in the next life they take another kind of worm. From small creatures, they turn into large creatures. From large creatures, they turn into old creatures. In general, their karmic obstacles continue to grow. The retribution of their evil karma increases life after life. It does not decrease, it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. Finally, how large it gets, no one knows. With scanty virtue and few blessings, they have very little virtue. Therefore, their blessed retribution is also very small. They are oppressed by scores of sufferings. They undergo all the different kinds of sufferings, the 3 sufferings, the 8 sufferings, the limitless sufferings. They enter into the dense forest of deviant views. They run into the thickets of deviant views. So many of them. How can they ever find their way out again? Those of existence, non-existence, and the like. Existence refers to the view of permanence, and non-existence refers to the view of annihilationism. The dense forest of deviant views refers to the general list of 62 views. They become dependent on those views. They strike up a friendship with all these views and come to depend upon them. 62 of them in all. There are a lot these views, but generally they can be listed under 62 categories. And what are the 62 views? I have not explained them before, but now I will. You have all heard of the 5 skandhas: form, feeling, thought, activity, and consciousness. Those of outside religions think form is large and I am small. Form pervades the Dharma realm. I am very small and I am within the form. This is really stupid. How could they run inside a form? How in the heck? It is ridiculous and it does not make sense. But they make up this theory anyway and say, form is great, I am small, I am within form. That is theory number 1. Another outside religion comes up with the theory, form is small and I am great, form is within me. This is the exact opposite of the first theory. Ultimately, what form is, they do not know, but form jumped right into them. That is theory number 2. Other outside religion has this deviant view, form is just me. That makes 3. Another outside religion says, form is a part from me. They have nothing to base their deviant views on. But that makes 4 of them. Form is great, I am small. Form is great, I am small, I am within form. Form is small, I am great, form is within me. Form is me, form is apart from me. These 4 propositions apply to the remaining 4 skandhas as well. For example, Feeling is great, I am small, I am within feeling. Feeling is small, I am great, feeling is within me. Feeling itself is me. What is apart from feeling is me. The same four propositions apply to thinking, activity, and consciousness. The four propositions apply to the five skandhas, make a total of 20 views. These 20 views are of the present. The same 20 may also be applied to the past and to the future. Thus, the 20 views times the 3 periods of time make a total of 60 views. What about the remaining 2 views? They are simply the view of permanence and the view of annihilation. It is mentioned in the sutra text as the view of existence and the view of non-existence. These 62 views make no sense at all, really. Do not ask me how they arrived at them. They basically have no principle behind them. They're just set up as deviant views. If you look for some principle behind them, you will find the deviant views yourself. There is no principle behind them, but we should know what they are. We should also know that they are based on no principle whatever.